Welcome to Good Timing Tools. We're doing the timing on a 2008 YFZ 450. So this should vary. This should be the same as an 05 to 09, I believe, and this fits an 08. From what I heard the 07 and the 08 450s are the best ones Yamaha produced. But this is a bike me and a buddy went in half on, and I'm getting it all prepped and ready to sell. So let me go ahead and bring y'all along for the timing works to where y'all can see what y'all need to do. All right, so let me show you what's going on. So you see these marks? You got this dimple, this one, and this one. So they're gonna face each other. You want this one to match the top of the head, the same one as this one. And then these pins on the timing chain, you wanna count 13 between. See how this one's in the center? I'm gonna start with this one. So it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then right there. See how it lines up in the middle? This is my last one, and that's 13 in between. So what I want to do is I want this side of the chain tight, and I usually press my finger in here to make sure they're still lined up. Now it's gonna cock it a little bit, but I want to make sure this side of the chain is tight, so when I put the tensioner, it's not pulling the slack on one side and setting off my timing marks. So that's gonna be set. Now your cam lobes are gonna be 10 and 2, as you see right here. These are gonna be facing like this, these are gonna be facing like this, and then your timing mark. So you're gonna go in your flywheel on your timing mark. Let's see if you can see it. So I'm off just the hair. There we go. So what I usually like to do is I leave the ratchet on there. It's a counterweight while I'm messing with the chain. It don't want to pull back on my flywheel, so I can get my mark to stay where it's at. So I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's a mark dead center in there, and then you got the indentation right here, so you want that mark to line up with it. Well, let's go to your timing chain, the tensioner itself. So you got your tensioner, and with that, whenever you pull off your tensioner, you got your two 8mm bolts, and you got your 10 in the back, and you're gonna need a small flathead screwdriver. So this is the tensioner. Now a lot of people say there is, and it does matter which way you put it. So see up, so you want to put it, it's gonna be in there like this, and then this actually is adjustable by a spring with a set screw. So behind this cap is a small flathead. You're gonna take this cap off, and then there's gonna be a flathead in there. You're gonna actually turn it counterclockwise to loosen it. So what I usually do, pulling it off, I just loosen each nut, going back and forth with it until it pulls out, and then that's how I've always done it, and never give me any issues like that. So whenever you're putting it back in, what I usually do is I put it back in there because it does give you enough bite to where you can put the bolts in. I'll start the bolts up, tighten up just a little bit. It does put tension on the chain. You don't want to do too much. And then that's when I take this bolt off, and then whenever I loosen up the set screw in there, I push it against, and then I herp and tighten up a bolt by hand. I tighten as much as I can by hand, and then that's when I let the screw go, and I put the second nut and I tighten it up, and then I can just put a little bit more tension back onto it to keep my chain tight. So that's how I usually do the tensioner. But let's go back to the timing. So you have your timing mark in here. I'm not too sure if you can see it or not, but you have your timing mark in here in the flywheel. You want that to match up with this little indentation right here, and you're gonna come up with your dimples. And then I did just now seen a video where a guy said if this is cocked up, you are gonna lose a couple horsepower. So you just want to make sure it's set right, and whenever you put your tension back on, and your dimples are lined up with the top of the head. So of course, just make sure that you got 13. And then after, what I'm going to do is I'm not gonna tighten everything up. I'm gonna just put my cam hold downs back on it, and I'm gonna put my compression tester in there. From what I was reading, you should read 75 to 90 because you got your your decompression valve. So I'm gonna check compression and just make sure everything's properly, you know, done right. And of course, before you're doing this, before you rotate it, make sure you do put your cam chain tensioner back in, just so you don't, because it will jump on this cam. So as far as that, oh, and as well, whenever you're doing this, to give you some room on that back bolt, you're gonna need to take the carburetor. So you gotta, what I did is I loosened up the back clamp right here, and then the front clamp, and then I just pushed the carburetor to where it give me enough tilt to get a ratchet inside right here with extension. Other than that, that should be what you need to know on timing a YFZ 450. Hope this was helpful. If it is, please like and subscribe, and I appreciate your time.
The sun is coming up, are you ready to go? We can take a ride, we can take it slow. Your will is my law, I'ma let you be the boss, cause I'll go where you go. I'll take you to a place we can see it all. Stand by the edge, I can break your fall. Your will is my law, I'ma let you be the boss, cause I'll go where you go. When you fall down, I'll get you back up again.